Jabir ibn Abdullah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, the great companion, you know what he said? Just to show you guys that fasting is a lot more than staying away from the things that nullify your fast. There are certain things that are going to nullify it, and there are other things that are going to destroy the month of Ramadan for you. Split into two. He said, إِذَا صُمْتَ فَلْيَصُمْ سَمْعُكَ وَبَصَرُكَ وَلِسَانُكَ عَنِ الْكَذِبِ وَالْمَاثِمِ. When you fast, make sure that your eyes are fasting. Make sure that your ears are fasting. Make sure your tongue is fasting from what? From lying and all types of sins. Make sure your body parts are fasting, brothers and sisters. I honestly believe, you don't have to agree with me, that if you are someone who manages to control these three body parts, you are on your way of becoming a saint, a beloved servant of Allah Azza wa Jalla. I believe that. Would you guys agree? When you think about it, guys, a lot of the sins that we fall into, would you agree that it stems off from the eyes, especially in today's day and age, with the emergence of social media? Would you guys agree with that? Think about it for a moment. If I remove the sins that I fall into through my eyes and through my ears and through my tongue, how many sins are we actually falling into throughout the year? Every single year, guys, I receive correspondence on Instagram, messages on social media, a brother and a sister saying, I committed zina in the month of Ramadan. What is the expiation? Did you know, my brothers and my sisters, did you know? You know, husband and wife, are they halal for one another? They're halal for one another. Did you know in the time of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, جاء رجل النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال يا رسول الله. A man came and he said, oh Messenger of Allah, I've burnt myself. Burnt himself where? Burnt himself in the hellfire. I've destroyed myself. So the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam asked him, what happened? He goes, وقعت على امرأتي في رمضان. I had sexual intercourse with my wife in the month of Ramadan. Scholars, they took from this that the fact that he said, I've burnt myself in the hellfire, that this is from the major sins. With your wife, a woman that is halal for you, you do sexual intercourse, you have committed a major sin. SubhanAllah. If that's the case with two people that are halal for one another, and I'm talking about while they're fasting, yeah? Because after Maghrib, you go do what you want. While they're fasting, right? This is a major sin. How about two people that are not even halal for one another? Every Ramadan, guys, countless messages received this. You know, one time I decided to ask them, how did you guys get to know one another? Or when did you guys get to know one another? You know what he said? We got to know one another in the month of Ramadan. Hey, in the month of Ramadan, why are you fasting? Type how? He goes through none other than fitnagram. Innocently, you know, these glances. Shaitan's whispering to him, wallahi, she might be a marriage potential. And he clicks on the profile, and then the shaitan whispers, give her da'wah. She ends up giving him da'wah, right? And then before you know it, guys, the unexpected takes place, right? Zina al-aynayn al-nazar, wa zina al-lisan al-nutq. The zina of the eyes is what? To look. And the zina of the tongue is what? To utter, right? To flirt. These loose conversations they start having with one another. And shaitan's telling him, akhi, she's your potential, she's your potential. And you're falling for it. In the month of Ramadan. And then the Messenger said, zina al-yad, the zina of the hand is what? To reach out to her. And the zina of the feet is to walk towards her. In the month of Ramadan, this is happening, guys. And then they're messaging me absolutely heartbroken, feeling miserable. I've destroyed myself. And wallahi, this is genuine. And this is what major sins does to an individual. It kills you inside. Wallahi, brothers and sisters, it kills you inside. I wish I had the time to go through my Instagram and to start reading messages of brothers and sisters who are saying, please help me. I'm ashamed of myself. I am broken. I am unrecognizable. This has happened to me. What is he talking about? He committed zina. You guys think, oh, Islam's all rough and tough, right? It's depriving you, sah? It's depriving you from what? To go clubbing, to have relationships. Just ask me, guys. My Instagram is full, brothers and sisters, full of people who are absolutely broken, spiritually dead and empty. Month of Ramadan, the scene has been set. إذا دخل شهر رمضان فتحت أبواب الجنة وغلقت أبواب النار وسلسلة الشياطين. The doors of Jannah are swung open, the doors of hellfire are slammed shut, and the shayateen are locked up. But you know why we're still carrying out our filth and evil in the month of Ramadan? People always ask, okay, well, wasn't the shayateen locked up? Why am I doing this? It is because you're so used to these bad habits before the month of Ramadan. That's why we're saying stop it now. Try and find a routine to stay away from some of these bad habits. Are you guys with me? So it's a lot more than I've stayed away from food and drink. I've stayed away from sexual intercourse. I'm fine. I'm going to walk away with my 30 days of Ramadan. It's a lot more than that. Look what Ibn al-Qayyim rahmatullahi alayhi mentions. He says, إِنَّ أَفْضَلَ أَهْلِ كُلِّ عَمَلٍ أَكْثَرُهُمْ فِيهِ ذِكْرًا لِلَّهِ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ. Indeed, the most virtuous of people are those who remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the most when it comes to the acts of worship that they carry out. You guys know that? While you're fasting, the more dhikr you do, the more Quran you read, you are so much more better than the one who's reading less. And then he says, فَأَفْضَلُ الصُّوَّامِ أَكْثَرُهُمْ ذِكْرًا لِلَّهِ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ فِي صَوْمِهِمْ. The best of those who fast are the ones who remember Allah Azza wa Jalla the most. This is the reality, brothers and sisters. He mentions from the benefits of dhikr is that it occupies your tongue from haram. And what have you occupied it from? Ghiba, backbiting, filth, slander, and so on and so forth. People genuinely actually ask me and they say, brother, I've got a problem with my tongue. Help. I have an issue. I'm always talking about others. Do dhikr. Keep your tongue moist. لا يزال لسانك رطبا بذكر الله. A man came to the Messenger and he said, there are too many obligations, right? It's become too much for me. Give me something that's going to help me. Some of us might be feeling like that. Wallahi, 16 hours, 17 hours, that's long. That's a burden for me. Believe it or not, guys, you know what the new trend is in the month of Ramadan? To not fast. That's become a trend. You'll be surprised how common this is actually becoming. You want something to help you when it comes to your fasting? Do dhikr with your tongue. What did this man want when he came to the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Was he saying, oh Messenger of Allah, allow it, to remove some of these obligations from me? Was he saying that? No, give me something that's going to help me. So he said, keep your tongue moist of the remembrance of Allah, and that will give you strength in all of these other acts of worship.